Hi guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're gonna take a look at the inside shapes of the Pokeball, and well, of course, the first thing we would need to do would be to open this, but I don't want to open it just yet because if we open it at this point, then it's gonna be really difficult to do all of the things that we want to do. Now, if we take a look at the inside of the Pokeball, you can see that we have again this sort of like frame. That's gonna give it a little bit more, oomph to the whole thing, a little bit more detail. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna grab this main hole right here and I'm gonna say clone. There we go. So now we have another one over here, a main hole that we're gonna be able to use to create the border, right? Now we know that this black thing is gonna be here on the top, so I probably want the main border to start like down here, okay? Like I don't want it to go like all the way to where the black border is because well that's where the black border is. So I'm gonna append a new cylinder in this case, and we're gonna make it really thin, like about where the circle ends, which would be about there, I would say. And we're gonna make it a little bit bigger, and then we're gonna divide. So that's gonna give us the inside of the elements, right? Now I know if we were to scale this sphere down, we would get like the proper elements. So the first thing I want to do is I want to create this sort of like a window space that we have over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new cylinder. Actually, I'm just going to duplicate this cylinder right here, and then I'm going to move it up. Okay, and this one is also going to be divided. Why are we getting this? Oh yeah, we need to turn them on of course. There we go. So now we push this, as you can see, we're cutting like the window that we would have. So it's, I would say something like that. It is close to what we have here on the little window. So probably a little bit more. You can see this is like kind of thick. So maybe this one shouldn't be that big. Maybe we do have a little bit more space there on the little windows. And since we're going to have the cut from the original thing, then we shouldn't have an issue here. So I'm probably going to leave it like that. Now the problem is, as you can see, that we have this sort of like borders that we need to have. And I see like 1, 2, 3. I would expect 4, 5, 6 maybe. But before that, we need to copy this guy to the other side. Now, what would be the fastest way to do it? Well, since the pivot point of this guy right here is all the way up here, we can't just like grab this guy and bring it to the bottom side. But what we can do is we could mirror this. I'm gonna try C plugin, and I'm gonna say subtle master mirror, and I'm gonna mirror on the y-axis. Let me see if that works. Yep, it works perfectly. And as you can see, we mirror this from the center point of the object all the way down here, and as you can see, we now have the cut. So we have the elements that we have, like the upper and lower element, but we need this little like bars that are keeping the whole thing. However, we're not going to be able to get them from this shape right here because there's a lot of mathematical things going on. We need to get them from a different shape. So what I'm going to do here is I am just going to make this a Boolean mesh. We're going to get this Boolean mesh right here, and we're going to rename this, and we're going to call it inside part A. Inside part A. So that I know that this is the first part that we're working with. I'm gonna go back to my this guy right here that it's doing the mathematical things. I'm gonna turn this guys off, go back to my sphere. So now we only have this thing, and we can create like this sort of like banding, right? Like I know that I only need like this bands going on like different angles, and when I combine those bands with this guy right here, the inside part, we should be getting the frame that we want on the top. So I'm gonna append now a cube. And what I'm going to do with this cube on the top view is I'm going to scale this down to create sort of like the thickness of the bands that I want, which I think something like this works fine. And if I do intersection now, we get the bands, see? Like this very nice bands going down on the object. Now, it's just a matter of duplicating this. So I'm going to duplicate. I'm also going to intersect, and I'm going to rotate 45 degrees. Well, in this case, I think we're going to add instead. Well, actually, no. Let's do something easier then. Let's delete this guy. And since we already have this band right here, which would be like one of this guys, it's 1, 2, and I would expect a third one. So this is the third one. I'm just going to say make Boolean mesh. Now we have this band. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this guy, and I'm going to rotate 45 degrees. Or no, I think actually it's, I believe it's 60 degrees. 60 degrees. And then I'm going to duplicate again and rotate 60 more degrees. There we go. And now we have this sort of frame. We are gonna make another Boolean mesh because this needs to be a complete like hull like this. And then we're gonna go to the inside parts over here and we're gonna append this U main hull that we had. Look at that. Beautiful, right? Like as you can see, now all of the pieces come together and we create this super interesting frame. Now let's turn off this thing so that we can see the proper shape. And this is the hole that we are going for. Now I don't want these things though. So on this guy, this one's definitely going to be combined, but I'm going to append a new, it can be a cube. It doesn't really matter. Just a new shape that we're going to be using to cut the main areas over there. So there we go. And we divide. And look at this. Beautiful, nice hole. Like I've tried this technique in other different ways, like trying to do those little windows, and believe me, it's difficult, guys. Like trying to create that thing is difficult, but if you think about this in a mathematical way, then it becomes quite easy to do it. It shouldn't be that much of an issue to create this sort of effect. So now it's just a matter of making this another Boolean mesh. Now we have the complete hole. We're going to go back to our main Pokeball where we have the main hole, the ring, and everything else. And then I'm going to append the U-mesh inside parts. And there we go. Now, of course, I am going to turn on transparency here. And I'm going to scale this guy's in. Well, not this guy's. This guy's in. So that we have these things like sitting on top of the inside of the Pokeball. Let's isolate them for just a second. And I'm going to add the same like madcap gorilla. So I'm going to say color, fill object. So that every single part of the Pokeball has a nice effect. Oh, did not work. Oh yeah, mRGB, color, fill object. There we go. So now we go back to our starter material and this does not change. And there we go. We have all of the pieces for our Pokeball. The only problem is we can't really see the inside of the pieces here because, well, of course, they're on the inside. So what can we do? Actually, I think this might be a little bit too thin. Oh, that's good. So what can we do to open this Pokeball up? And the answer is super simple. We're going to be using transpose. Now for this, we actually need to use a little bit of a trick here. So I'm going to go to this guy right here, to the inside part, and I'm going to mask out with a drag direct. I'm going to mask out all the down part or the lower part. Then I'm going to go to the main hole, and I'm also going to mask out this thing right here. I'm going to move my pivot point to this area right here where this thing pivots from, which is the border of the black piece right about there. And I'm going to click this little button right here, which is going to transpose every single tool at the same time. So now, if I open the Pokeball, you're going to see since this thing is masked out, it's not going to be pushed up. It's going to remain exactly where it was. And everything else is just going to move forward. So it's a very quick little way in which we can open this Pokeball up to create this sort of effect. Now, you can see that it doesn't look spherical, but that's just the way they are designed. Like if you see this thing right here, that's where the pivot point is. So this is where you drop your what's it called? It's the suspension of disbelief, right? So we're gonna just forgive that these things do it this way, and we're gonna get this very nice effect right here. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much it for the construction of all of the base parts. Now I'm gonna close the Pokeball back. Now I'm gonna save this as a tool, so because we don't need any more all of the like elements that we did. So I'm gonna save this as a Pokeball. And it's going to be the tool. I'm also going to save the document just in case, or not the document, sorry, the file, just in case we need the C project to go back to all of the elements. But you can see, like, using Boolean meshes, it makes things quite dirty. So this is it. We're going to leave this one right here. If you've been following along and if you've been doing the exercise, then you should have a very nice Pokeball. A very nice exercise that you can try is try doing one of the other Pokeballs. There's like this guy right here, which is like the comfortable Pokeball or the Master Ball. Like there's a lot of other different Pokeball styles that you can try your hand at. And in the next video, we're just gonna go over this one, and we're gonna be adding a little bit of damage and detail to have like a damage version and a clean version of our Pokeball. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next one. Bye bye.